Hello everybody, how you doing today? I've got another lesson here. It's called Beauty from the Unwanted. Several years ago I got this idea and I wrote an article about it, and so that's what this uh, podcast is going to be about. And it was titled Beauty from the Unwanted. And so I wrote then that I was traveling through South Texas the other day and it suddenly occurred to me that there was beauty everywhere. And so, one thing about me, I enjoy driving around the countryside. I enjoy seeing new things and taking routes I've not traveled before. And at certain times of the year, people like to get out. There's flowers along the side of the roads, and usually in April, May, June, and July, you can go along and notice there's flowers everywhere along the freeways and other places. And so, there's every color you can imagine. You know, you drive through some areas, there were entire fields covered in these flowers, and like the yellows are brilliant, the purples are majestic, the reds were deep, and the pinks were dainty, and the whites look like snow. And so this got me to thinking of all the beauty that God has given us. And you realize there's some people would love to see such colors, but their eyesight is not what it used to be, and they really can't appreciate it anymore. And some people aren't able to see it all. And so you kind of feel sorry for those who are deprived of such beauty. And I think really what one of the biggest problems is people just do not take the time to notice the beauty that is surrounding them. They're just so busy to get to their destination, they just pay no attention. So that's the problem a lot of people face. And so sometimes we just fail to see what is on our journey and things that might help us to appreciate getting where we're going. But hurry up and get there seems to be the focus of so many people today. And every now and then, yes, you realize some people do take notice of the beauty. You know, a lot of times in Texas, you can be driving along and all of a sudden there's cars on the side of the road. The people are out there with their kids and their dogs. One of them's holding a camera, taking pictures of their family with the flowers and things like that. Sometimes, even though it's illegal, you might see people picking flowers to take to someone that they care about. All right, so... But just about everybody has something in their mind that they consider beautiful. I mean, the phrase, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, is very true. See, for those who live along the coastline, they just believe the mountains are just majestic. And, of course, those who live in the mountains, they'd love to be able to sit by the sea and in that calm and serene environment or listening to the waves crashing. So there's a peace by being in a garden or on a forest trail. And there are just so many places that look good on a postcard or picture puzzle. And so the thing is about with all the color and beauty of these wild flowers, we still recognize that most people consider these nothing more than weeds. And technically that's what they are. And weeds are usually unwanted predators of our lawns and our gardens. I mean, to have a nice, beautiful lawn, you gotta kill the weeds, you gotta pluck them out, you gotta put fertilizer on them or some sort of weed killer. And then, of course, in our gardens, if we plant something, that's all we want coming up, so we kind of cut out all the others. And then by doing so, we're just not thinking that something beautiful is about to erupt in our presence. When some of these start budding out, they're having flowers, I mean, they might be beautiful. But if you're trying to keep a nice, pretty lawn, they can be a nuisance. So, there's other things we need to consider that are beautiful. See, everyone in their own right has a beauty about them. Or at least they can. They have the potential. There's some people who are just kind of downright dirty and gruff and grumpy, and you really don't want to be around them. But for a lot of people, they do have something about them that is a little bit different. Sometimes beauty could be external, but internal beauty is by far the best kind. So this is what is called the inner person of the heart that the Bible commands us to be and where we need to focus. The Bible tells us that we're supposed to be doing things like we need to be peaceable, we need to be loving, we need to be kind-hearted, we need to be true, and sometimes even patient and long-suffering. And so this is the inner person of the heart that we've got to focus upon. And yes, there can be a beauty in there. Some people may not be attractive on the outside, but they are extremely beautiful on the inside. And so what we don't want to happen, for us at least, is to put on some sort of fake kind of presentation. You know, and you think of it this way. Have you ever noticed these magazines in the grocery checkout stand that they send out every now and then? That they'll catch the stars that didn't have makeup on. And see, on the silver screen, these people are just absolutely beautiful. And they don't have any flaws or anything. And they're the type, oh, I wish I could have a relation with that person or something. But then all of a sudden, you see them without their makeup, and some of them can be downright ugly or even disgusting in their appearance. So all they have proven is that they can mask or make up themselves to be something they are not. And usually, I've heard this many times, people who wear a lot of makeup, they appear beautiful, but then seeing them without their makeup is kind of shocking for some people. So, but many people do this not with makeup, but by their actions. They might do pretty things that are nice, but inside they're filthy. You know, Jesus was talking about the scribes there in Matthew chapter 23, the scribes and the Pharisees. He called them hypocrites. He says, you are like whitewashed tombs. In other words, pretty on the outside, but full of dead men's bones. And people who are hypocrites fall into this category. And of course, we know that Satan's disciples disguise themselves as angels of light. So there's always a lot of deception going on. Sometimes it's from our church members, sometimes it's from false teachers, and sometimes it's from the world in general. But yeah, anyway, when it comes to beauty, notice what Jesus said about this. Jesus told his disciples to consider the lilies of the field. And he said that even Solomon, in all of his glory, could not be arrayed as these flowers in Luke 12:47. And then, of course, there's many ways to see the beauty of God. In Psalm 96 and verse 9, it reads, "O worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth." And then in Psalm 29 and verse 2, it says, "Give unto the Lord the glory due his name. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness." So we should all look for the beauty of God and what God has done for us. Yes, the fact that he loved us so much, that should have an appeal to us. And that's really one of the reasons why we have beauty, is because it's appealing. It's something that's nice. It's pleasant to look at. It's enjoyable to look at. It's peaceful to look at. And so that's why beauty is prized so highly in our world today. And yes, some people think of physical beauty, but fast forward 50 years and see where they are. See if they're still that attractive. And of course, you'll notice that, yeah, the beautiful young maiden that you married many years ago, and all of a sudden is not that way anymore. So you have to look for something different. You have to look for the beauty inside of them, and not be paying attention to the outward physical appearance. You know, God talked about the outward physical appearance. That's how man looks at a man. In 1 Samuel chapter 16, Samuel was commanded to go and anoint one of the sons of Jesse to be king in the place of Saul. And so he went, and he saw the oldest was brought forth first, Eliab, and he lists, surely, good-looking young guy. Man, this certainly is the one selected by God. And God says, don't look at him based on his physical appearance. For man looks at man based on what he sees on the outside, but God watches the heart. So, when we think about other things that are beautiful, of course, what God has done for us, providing salvation, making it available to us, that is beautiful. And you think about Jesus on the cross. I mean, that, I mean, yeah, he was all bloody. He had just been beaten and scourged to within an inch of his life. Uh, he was tired and he was dejected. And, I mean, he was ready to die, literally. And yet what he was doing was probably the greatest act of kindness ever in human history. And so, when we share that message with people who need salvation, it is something that is beautiful. One of the most beautiful things on this earth is what God has done for us, what Jesus did for us. And so, we also need to realize that heaven is described as beautiful. And yes, it's something that we all want to go there. And hopefully along the way we can teach others so that they can go there also. You know, in Proverbs 20 verse 29, it reads, "The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head." And so, yes, the other day we had a lesson about respecting the elderly. And yes, the Bible even commands when you see a gray head, you honor them and respect them. So we need to take time to look for the beauty surrounding us and remember to thank God for making it possible. It's very important for us to be mindful of these things. And of course, we know that we need to be a beautiful person. Whether we can ever achieve that from the outside appearance, I don't know. Some of us can, some of us can't. Some of us have definite limitations. But still, we can be a beautiful person from the inside. It's what comes out. And you know, that's what Jesus said about people. It's not what goes in, but it's what comes out of them, out of their mouth. You know, out of their mouth come the evil surmisings and the adulteries and the hatred and the dissensions. All those things. And so we do that. You know, sometimes we have that song that we sing, "Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in me." And so what Christ did, we need to let him live in us. And not just like we put on a makeup or put on a facade on Sunday morning and make us look like Jesus. But this has to be something that we do every day, all day, wherever we are. So yes, there's beauty in people if you will look for it. And like I said, it doesn't have to be on the outside, but it does need to be on the inside. So consider these thoughts and share this message with others if you want, if you appreciate it. And go to my YouTube channel. And I have this one along with 100 other podcasts or video casts or video blogs, whatever you want to call it. And check that out. So if there's anything we can help you with or answer any questions, be sure and contact us here on Facebook, and we will do that. If you need a certain subject discussed, let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you. All right, we're going to end it now. Y'all have a good day, and hopefully, Lord willing, we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.